Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel. I pray you all are doing well by the grace of God. So there is a new ride-share option that is sparking major debate. A women-only Uber feature, allowing female riders to request female drivers for safety purposes. But while many women are celebrating this added layer of protection, some say it's unfair to male drivers who could lose income. So today's video, we are taking a look at the different reactions to this new feature from those who feel safer and to those who feel sidelined. Let's talk about it.
People have been saying all day that we're cooked because of Uber's new safety feature that allows women to order female drivers. And one of the most insane stats ever is about 30% of all convicted human traffickers are female, which is insane. But at the end of the day, it's still strangers driving strangers. So there's always going to be a need and necessity for a safety tool like our app to help you stay safe in ride shares. So no, we are not cooked.
The rideshare apps are shaking, Uber in particular. Uber is now rolling out an all women's preference driving. It's women only, and it's so women can request just women drivers. There's a lot to the story. Let's talk about it. So just like you request like a black car, an Uber XL, something like that, they're going to have women's preferences as a choice. Where you can get a woman driver. They're rolling this out next month in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Detroit. They first rolled out this women's only in Saudi Arabia in 2019, when women were finally given the right to drive in Saudi Arabia in 2018. After that, it went so well, they rolled it out to 40 other countries. Now, they're going to be rolling this out eventually for everyone, but they want to test it in those 3 American states first. And also, they're going to be rolling it out in France, in Germany, and some other places in Europe, right along with San Francisco, LA, and Detroit. So we're going to see if this does any better, because women are scared to ride with some of the men because of the crimes that have happened in these rideshare apps. So when you click the preference, this is how it's going to look. And it doesn't look like it changes the price anymore from a regular Uber X for passenger to do that. So if you're having a drunk night and it's all your homegirls and y'all want to get in a car that you feel like is safe, you can do a woman's driver, which I think is going to be extraordinary. So if you go to Uber's social media pages, they've got Miss Camille Irving on there, and she is over there explaining about the new rollout for the app. She is one of the heads over there at Uber Mobility US, and they are letting us know, like, hey, more choices and more chances to be safe. Okay, I hope that this is not taken advantage of, like women do something weird where they're like, we'll just go into the woman's app and still be kidnapping them and bringing them to a man. And I know that seems far-fetched, but those are the conversations we have to have in a very scary, unsafe world where women's rights are being violated, they're being taken, where women make less pay, less power every day. So I'm really grateful to see this with Uber. I just really want to say great job. And I hope the other rideshare apps follow behind you in your path.
So I saw this report that Uber will allow women drivers and women riders to avoid being paired with men next month. And look, I'm all for women's safety. If women like it, I love it. But I think a lot of people are missing the point about truly protecting women. If you want to protect women, if you want to protect anybody when it comes to Lyfts, Ubers, whatever you want to call it, how about you do a better job of your background checks? How about you do a better job of vetting those who are going to be associated with using your app? Because a lot of times it's not about the wolf. Sometimes it's actually about the wolf in sheep's clothes. Sometimes to get to a woman isn't by force. Sometimes to get to a woman is not about putting her in a position to feel afraid. But the best way to get to a woman is by making her feel safe. And what will make another woman feel safe? Another woman. And I'm not saying women don't look out for other women, but sometimes women also are dangerous. Sometimes women are horrible people. Sometimes women can manipulate you and put you in harm's way without you even knowing it. I get we live in this world that we think men are dangerous, and I'm not going to act like men cannot be dangerous, but women can be just as dangerous. They can put you in position to be taken advantage of. So instead of focus on only avoiding certain types of genders, how about you do a better job of vetting the people that you're going to have your customers around? And maybe create a system where your customers can also be vetted as well. Create an app on quality, effectiveness, and safety instead of quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Now, Uber has said that they're going to let female drivers pair themselves with female passengers and vice versa. You know, if you're a female passenger, you can request a female driver. Now, the bigger picture here, why does this have to happen? Why does this have to be put in place? Well, it's a rhetorical question, but if you're one of the dense, turn a blind eye, type of consumers in this country, I'll let you know why. Because any and almost every negative Uber ride in this country has come from what? It's always a conflict between male and female. Female passengers don't feel safe getting into vehicles with male drivers. And, female drivers don't feel safe when male passengers get into the car. So to remedy this situation, Uber had to enact this. If you still decide to use Uber, because let's not forget, Uber heavily backs the Trump administration, and that is why, I think it was thousands of people. It was more than hundreds. I think it was thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but they started closing their accounts because there are lots of Americans who are still sore about the election, and they are not dealing with anybody backing that, and I ain't mad at them. But the bigger picture here is why that was even needed in the first place. Lyft need to do the same.
If you're a woman and you're afraid to use Uber in the nights after you go out with your homegirls and you have a little too much, you're going to want to listen to this. Uber has announced that there's going to be some major changes in their applications, especially for women. They're pretty soon going to have the option to pick if they want a man or a woman to come pick them up at the night after the club, or maybe to take them to work. That way they can feel a little bit more comfortable. Because as we all know by now, there's been multiple cases where some men see that they pick up a woman, they see that she's not in all her senses, and they do take advantage of them. Or sometimes they don't touch, but they do like verbal. They tell them, hey, I want to do this. And it makes women feel uncomfortable. And this year alone, those complaints by women have skyrocketed. So what is Uber doing? Now they're going to be giving women an option. If they want to, a woman might come pick them up. Uber posted on their social media account stating, more control, more choices. Women have told us that they want this option. To be matched with other women, and us Uber, we listen. Let me know what you guys think about all this down below in the comments. Do you think this is a good idea? And like always, don't forget to follow for more daily fresh news. Ciao.
So apparently, starting next month, Uber will launch a feature allowing women to request women-only rides by selecting this preference in the app settings for both riders and drivers. So a lot of women are saying this is good. We don't want to ride with male riders. They're creepy. But this is where the lines get blurred at. Let's just say a female driver who only wants to drive females, right? She accepts a ride from a female. After the club, the female is drunk. She accepts that ride. She pulls up to pick up the female, and all of a sudden the female has her boyfriend, a guy she just met, a brother, a cousin, or somebody with her. Is this female driver now to say, I'm sorry, miss, you can't ride with me because I don't want any men in my car? I don't see how that's fair. I see how this could actually become more of a problem than help, because now men are feeling left out. It's like, okay, so if we're drunk and we're on the side of the street and my sister is being nice by taking me home, you mean to tell me I can't get in this Uber with my sister because the driver doesn't want a man in the car because she feels unsafe? I feel like this is kind of like weird, but good for women. This is good for women who have been through things or who do really feel unsafe riding with males. But I feel like this still is kind of crazy.
One of the things that really pushed me over the edge was that we found in late 2017 that women in the US were half as likely to be active users of Uber and Lyft as men.
Wow.
And that really surprised me. I was blown away. I actually thought that we'd done the research wrong. So I was pushing on my team. I was like, hey guys, is this really true? And I remember flying home one night from Chicago, got home late on a Thursday, got in bed with my wife, Kendall, and I was telling her about my day. And I said, hey, this, struck me. Women just aren't using Uber and Lyft the same way men are. And she said, I can't believe that's surprising to you. I don't even have these apps on my phone. I would never use that. Are you kidding me? I was like, well, we use it all the time. And she said, yeah, we use it. But I mean, when I'm with you, but if you're out of town, like, it is such an intimate experience to get in the car in my front driveway, you know, my kids waving out the window with somebody knowing where I'm going. I would just never do that.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, if it's not working for me and it's not working for my wife, maybe there's something really here. And that's when I really started kind of digging in and building a business plan and working on a way that we could solve that problem.
Safety should never be controversial. And I believe that no one should feel unsafe getting from point A to point B. When it comes to safety, it's not something that we should be debating about. But it's also true that men, especially those who are really hardworking, genuine, that are driving Uber, Lyft to provide for their families, they will really feel the financial. They will feel the financial heat, right? So where do we go from here? So is separation the solution, or are we just treating the symptoms, not the root? Again, for me, I would say I don't think this debate is about ride shares. It's about safety, which from everything that I've heard and the different reactions that we have heard, safety is the priority. Equality as well, and how we can coexist in this world, which trying to protect but without punishing. So, will you use a women-only ride share? Do you think it's fair or flawed? Let's talk in the comment section, but please, let's be respectful of one another, regardless of different viewpoints. Until next time, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to click that like button, share, and please, if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss out on conversations like this. Bye.